Dear Jeremy, Merry Christmas to you in this strange year. Headline: The Labour Party and your suspension from the PLP. We applaud your attempts as leader of the Labour Party to advance the cause of the working classes and the poor in the face of endless attacks from the media, much of the Parliamentary Labour Party, and from other, often sinister forces. We, like millions of others, are appalled by the way the party leadership suspended you from the Parliamentary Party. Our Christmas gift to you is ownership of the website labourparty.org, which we hope you will use to empower grassroots members to express their ideas, communicate with each other, and coordinate their activities free from the threats of suspension or expulsion. The PCR test, the root of the COVID-19 disaster. Next headline. Since the first coronavirus lockdown on the 23rd of March, the British government's policies produced a sharp rise in excess deaths. This can be attributed to both COVID-19 and to the impact of the measures themselves, e.g. due to the decisions concerning care homes, etc. We believe that drastic mistakes were made at an international level from January onwards. At the heart of the disaster is the so-called Drosten PCR test, which was never properly peer-reviewed and has fatal design flaws. These are outlined in the appendix to the petition to the European Medicines Agency on 2nd of December by Mike Yeader. The attached peer review of the Drosten PCR test protocols proves it is not fit for purpose and must be abandoned. It also explains how a new test can be designed that would be able to distinguish between a SARS-CoV-2 infection and one from other coronaviruses. In addition, the appendix explains why the number of CT, that's amplification cycles, must be standardised to precisely identify people whose vital load is high enough to cause illness and onwards infection. The vaccines being rolled out and under development are all based on the same fundamentally flawed PCR test. This is why the vaccine's deployment should be immediately halted. In addition, comprehensive indemnity must be provided by the vaccine producers for possible side effects or deaths identified by comprehensive monitoring of all vaccine recipients.
Quite right.
Okay, now, last bit. Human rights, justice and civil liberties. There is no evidence from anywhere in the world that open-air rallies, protests and demonstrations led to outbreaks of COVID-19. This is true for BLM protests in Bolivia and Lebanon, the recent general strike in India and the anti-lockdown protests in many countries. The socio-economic and health consequences for hundreds of millions of people are already catastrophic. Tens of millions have been pushed to the point of starvation. The predicted rise in preventable deaths from pneumonia, TB, malaria and AIDS by 2025 far exceeds the official death toll from COVID and will affect far younger age groups. There has been a campaign to demonise anti-lockdown protests as gatherings of right-wing conspiracy theorists, and I'm not one of them, not a right-wing conspiracy theorist, just as there was a campaign to demonise you over the past 5 years as being anti-Semitic. And that was a monstrous pack of lies against you. Governments around the world employ dictatorial powers, e.g. threatening to shoot people in the Philippines and carrying out large-scale illegal arrests and to detentions in the UK and many European countries. And I myself, as you know, have been arrested 7 times. We call on you to defend our freedoms and rights unequivocally. As Rosa Luxemburg said, freedom is always and exclusively freedom for the one who thinks differently. We are happy to provide further information, to debate the issues and to collaborate together to defend the people's health, civil liberties, democracy and freedom. So, with season's greetings.
Wonderful.
From myself and Haiku Crew.
And Santa Claus.
And Santa Claus.
Yeah. You got to hand that over, miss.
So, JC,
Happy
Fantastic
Christmas.
to see you.
Happy Christmas.
fantastic to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Everything all right?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Fine, all good.
Voila. It's the letters in there. We've read it out in public, but you'll like it. It supports you in your struggle
Let me
against
read it anyway.
the
Yeah.
Labour Party monstrosity.
Oh, thank you.
And the domain name is just you. If you send us an email, we'll transfer the domain name to you, and you can decide what to do with it as appropriate in conjunction with your comrades. What's your message for 2021?
No austerity. Stop the theft of NHS resources by privatisation and outsourcing, and no austerity programme whatsoever. Instead, invest in people, don't freeze wages, and invest in housing, council housing, secure lifetime tenancy council housing.
COVID stuff has been used as a cover for privatisation of the NHS.
Well, that's true.
24/7.
That's true.
Practice,
That's true.
Co and other companies who've made what we've got is COVID billionaires,
That's right. That's right.
equivalent to wartime
yeah.
millionaires.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the
Mm.
big
It's
farmers
utterly
jumping on the game. You know, squeezing the whole NHS and turn it into a big pharma
Big Pharma.
milking cow. You know.
It is. Yeah.
Which is why some people were not happy with my plans to set up a National Health Service medicines company, which would have produced generic,
Exactly.
generic
Manufacturing.
medicines,
And
manufactured
much cheaper.
generic medicines for the NHS. Well,
Mm.
South Africa proved that when they did the antiretrovirals.
Yeah,
by
exactly,
generic means.
exactly.
So
How many
reduced
millions
them
died 'cause of
to,
that?
1% of the cost that that Big Pharma was trying to charge them.
That's right. That's
And they
right.
were made in India and exported to South Africa.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
You promised to read it.
Of course,
He's
I
not-
read,
he
I read
really
lots
will.
of stuff. Don't worry.
He
Oh,
does,
sure
he
you
does,
do.
yes,
Sure you do.
I read lots of things.
Yeah, but you'll
I'm a
find
great
it
reader.
really useful.
I'm a great reader.
And
yeah.
It's a
that
fantastic
Labour Party,
document.
that's a genius idea, and
Thank
it is
you.
totally
I'll have a look at
legit.
it. Thank you.
And
Oh.
Santa Claus, how nice of you to visit.
That's a pleasure.
and say hello to Lara.
I will indeed, yes.
Okay.
Indeed. It's lovely to see you.
Don't worry about these things.
Thanks. See ya.
Thanks, and thanks for coming
See ya.
by.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Cheers.
See you later, Jeremy.
Take care.
Take care.